Grace and peace be with you. This is Pastor Mariah from Church of Peace, United Church of Christ. Friends, we used to say that we gather at the corner of 12th and 12th, but these days we remember that the church is wherever the Spirit calls us to serve. From my home to yours, I welcome you, and I thank you for worshiping with us today. After the events of this week in our nation's capital, I am asking for your prayers. Now, I know that many of us are feeling something of everything. We are perplexed and outraged and heartbroken. Something that happened on Wednesday was that trauma has been reopened and triggered in our hearts. We are finding our own conscience flooded with questions. And what I will ask is that you please bring the questions in your heart to God. May all of these things that you are feeling become your prayer. Blessed is your anger and your struggling and your hurt. May we take all of this and use this to pray. May our hearts repent and turn toward God. May our listening turn toward each other. May our courage be reignited in love. Alongside praying for our nation this week, I also will ask Church of Peace members to please do check in on our prayer chain. There were a few requests that came in last week, and I would ask that you hold these prayers in your heart. And I also need to share with you the sad news that early on Saturday morning, Corrine Paskey passed away. Let us hold Corrine and all of her family in our prayers. And now for some announcements. We will be having a congregational meeting at the end of January. We'll be meeting by Zoom at 11:30 on Sunday, January 31st. Now, this meeting is open to all members of Church of Peace, so if you're interested in attending, please register with Karen in the office, and we'll make sure that you get the Zoom invitation. Also coming up in 2 weeks, on January 24th, there will be a worship meeting on Sunday afternoon to begin planning for Lent and Easter. Worship meetings are open to all members of Church of Peace, so if you might be interested in attending this one at 2 o'clock on Sunday, January 24th, please let me know, and I'll get you the Zoom information for that as well. Now let us hear these words as our call to worship. When Jesus came up out of the waters, the heavens were opened and the Spirit came down like a dove. Then God called out across heaven, announcing the promise of love. For Jesus, and not just for Jesus, for us, and not just for us, God calls out across the earth, announcing the promise of love. In schools and hospitals and churches, in places of power and places forgotten, God is still speaking. Come, let us worship the Lord who calls us by name, who calls us beloved.